السلام عليكم، رمضان مبارك سعيد بالرحمة والمغفرة إن شاء الله وبالتوفيق. Okay, and yeah, thank you. All right, thanks. As you know, that today's session is a kind of review. We are going to review all the aspects that we talked about last time, especially about vocabulary, grammar, and another very important lesson, which is integrating skills, how to integrate the 4 skills plus the 3 aspects. They are vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation. We will cover this lesson, I mean pronunciation, in the coming sessions. Okay, good. Now, I want someone to remind me, what do we mean by integrating skills or integrated skills? So what do we mean by integrating skills? Can I answer? Yes, Najwa?
Yes, sir.
So integrating skills refers to the way when we include more than one skill in a lesson.
Interesting. So more than one. Good.
Yes, it makes 2, 3, or the 4 skills.
Excellent. Good. Can someone add more? And what are the types of skill integration? Yes, Adil.
For example, we can integrate vocabulary and grammar, teaching grammar in the same lesson.
Very good. So we don't only integrate the 4 skills like listening,
Yeah.
writing, reading, speaking, but we also integrate the other aspects like vocabulary and grammar. Interesting.
Grammar.
Good. Yes. So in one activity, you can integrate 4 skills in one activity or 2. So integrating more than one skill is skill integration or integrating more. So you are combining skills together. And how? Sorry, why do we have to integrate skills? What's the purpose behind that?
Not to lose the student interest.
Good. So for motivating students to learn. Good. What else?
Sir, and
engage
also,
them.
Amira?
Yes, and also for the real communication, realistic communication, like day-to-day use.
Excellent. This is one of the main reasons behind integrating skills. In our real life, how do we communicate? How? We cannot just talk, but we talk and listen. We talk and write.
And listen at the same time.
Same time, okay. So this is the reason behind. It's the same like in our everyday or real life. When we communicate, we speak, we talk, we listen, we write, we read, etc. And do you remember the example that I gave you last time on the phone? What do you do? On the phone. So
Yes,
you listen, yeah,
yes,
but at the same time, you may ask question, you talk. If there is something important like someone is giving you a phone number, you take notes, you write. So there is writing, there is listening, there is speaking, etc. Okay, good. Now, what are the challenges?
Speaking.
What are the challenges? Why integrating skills are, integrating skills somehow difficult for teachers? Can someone remind me of the difficulties?
Time
Yes,
It takes time.
Time
It
consuming.
takes time.
Number 1, it takes time. Sana.
It takes time, as I said.
It takes time. Interesting. Halima?
It needs more preparation.
Very good. A lot of work. Adil?
It requires so many efforts.
Yeah, a lot of
It
effort.
requires some, yeah.
Very good job. Yeah, interesting. Good. So these are some reasons why integration skills are somehow difficult to, to integrate them. Number one, it's time consuming. It takes a lot of time, preparation, etc. And there is another reason, which is it's not easy. It's not easy to integrate because you should know about the level of the student, the kind of activities, the type of lessons, the size of the class. So you have to be aware of all these, then you can integrate skills.
Aspects.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to share the slides here. Then we start our lesson. So there is no question so far? Yes, please. No question?
Okay. Everything is clear.
Okay, good. So just 1 second, I'm gonna share with you the slides. Okay, so where is the presentation? So can you see now? Yes, please.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
good. Today we are going to have a review about skills and aspects. Okay, then we are going to correct the assignment I gave you last time about integrating skills. So number one, the aims of the session, number one is skills quiz. We are going to have a kind of quiz. It's a kind of review in what you have learned before. Number two, assignment correction. We are going to correct the assignment about integrating skills. Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you. We can just
So we are just seeing or watching the just a file of TEFL and can contain some files or folders. There is
Good.
no
So let me
slide.
Thanks. Let me share again. What about now? Do you see?
Not yet.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah?
Now we do.
Yes.
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 Perfect.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
yeah.
And now you see everything?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
Yes, we do.
Yes, that's nice.
Good.
Yeah.
So the aims of the session number one, skills quiz, we are going to have, it's a kind of a review about what you have learned before, about vocabulary, grammar, integrating skills, listening, speaking, writing, etc. Number two are going to correct the assignment, and I selected 3 or 4 assignments written by some of you, and are going to work on them. Number 3, we are going to have a review again about how to teach grammar, vocabulary, how to integrate skills, and at the end there is the reflection. We are going to reflect on what we have learned before. Okay. So, number 1, what do you understand by, sorry, there's a mistake, by receptive skills?
Listening and reading.
Listening
It's
and
listening and reading.
very good. It's
Reading.
quite obvious. Listening and reading. Now, what do you understand by productive skills?
Are the skills
Writing and speaking.
Yes, Sana.
Writing and speaking. When we
Writing and
produce.
speaking. Good. Now, what's the difference between receptive and productive?
Writing.
Yes, Umayma?
yes, sir.
Okay, Halima.
Receptive is when students receive the language, and productive is where students produce the language.
Uh-huh. Good.
Yeah.
Yes, Sana.
Receptive serves productive.
Very good. Receptive serves productive. Excellent. Yeah. So basically we start with the receptive. Okay. Then we move to the productive, because when we talk about the complexity, productive skills are somehow more difficult than receptive skills. Okay. Now, what is an authentic text?
Sir,
Yes, Hafsa?
authentic text is any material that is written by native speakers for native speakers, not mainly for students who are not native speakers.
Excellent. So authentic is coming from native speakers. Authentic text. Give an example. We can have visual text and written text. Visual, like videos. Okay, you bring a video from YouTube, and that video is about an American or a British talking about a certain topic. Okay. Yes. Number 4. Why is it not necessary for learners to understand every word of a text? Why it is not important to understand every word of a text?
Maybe it takes.
Because every word has a set of meaning. You just
Yes, please. 1 second.
understand each word.
Sana?
Because every word has a set of meaning. So if he understand the word depending on the context, he will lost.
Other explanation?
Yes,
Other
sir.
explanations, please.
Sir.
Hafsa?
Because he will understand through the context.
Interesting. So here we are using the context. Good. What else? Yes.
Professor.
Yes, Ayuba.
Because he will use his soft skills to understand the whole idea of the text instead of understanding only a one word.
All right. Yes. Someone else again?
Sir, in order not to let the students be confused by a lot of words or.
Okay. Yeah, so these are really interesting explanations. So we all the time, we know that our learners are scared of reading text. Oh my God, the text is difficult. I cannot understand every single word. How can I understand all the text? And there are many difficult words. We as teachers, we teach learners that your job is to understand what is general in the text, the main idea or the main ideas. It's number 1. So there is no need to understand every single word in a text. It's number 1. Number 2, as Hafsa said, you can understand the meaning of a word through context or guessing from the context. So we as teachers from the very beginning, we have to teach, we have to help our learners that it is not important to understand every word. The most important is to understand the text is about what exactly. If you find a difficulty, now you go to the context. From that, if you don't understand it, no problem. It's not a big deal. So this is how we can help students learn and how they like reading. Okay, number 5. How could you make a recorded listening text easier? How? How could you make a recorded listening text easier?
Recorded.
Yeah, raise your hand, Ayuba.
We can prepare students before. We can again make topic more interesting by using more relevant materials to them, and we can also make the lesson as simple as possible to them.
Okay, so the topic should be interesting. That's good, a good idea. What else?
Sir?
Yes, Miriam?
I think we can integrate reading in it. Like they can read and listen at the same time, maybe, or integrate like VA, like use visual aids to facilitate their understanding.
Very good. I like it. Using VA. That's good. Using VA will help students understand. You are going to facilitate their listening task. Interesting. Yes.
Sir?
Hafsa.
We are going to use the sub skills we learned, like production, VA, guessing. I mean, that will pre-teaching vocabulary. That will makes it easier for the students to understand a listening task.
Wonderful. So it's very important to use the sub skills, VA, guessing, predicting, vocabulary. You have to pre-teach. Vocabulary, difficult words. This is in the pre-listening stage. Now, in the while listening, what should you do? How can you help them? Umayma.
By using some activities like matching.
Good. Matching exercises.
So,
interesting.
is with yeah.
Good. Yeah. What about pause?
To check their student.
What about repeating the listening again? Yeah.
I think it will take time.
But obviously, they wouldn't listen to the recording just one time, just once for all. They will listen to it at least twice.
Good. So there is the first listening and the second listening, and sometimes there is also the third listening if they are still finding some difficulties. So the thing that will help students is using VA, pictures, pre-teach some keywords, vocabulary, pause from time to time, repeat the listening again. These things will facilitate the listening tasks for your learners. Okay, good. But if you repeat every time, I agree with you that it's gonna take time. But having first, second, third listening, that would be helpful. Good. Number 6. What do you understand by concept checking?
Can I answer?
Najwa, yes.
Okay, so when you check whether students understood a certain aspect of a lesson or not by asking them indirect questions and eliciting information from them instead of telling them, do you understand? Did you understand this?
Interesting. So basically, what do we use? We use concept questions. Okay.
Teachers shouldn't ask their students to understand the lesson or not.
As we said,
in order to
yes, Umayma, as we said earlier, that it's very important to avoid asking the question, do you understand?
Yeah.
Do you understand won't help you.
Students can ask that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because some students are shy, or some students
We should give them some.
Or some students think that they understood. That's why they say yes, teacher. But in fact, they are wrong. That's why you have to use concept questions to make sure. Okay, good. Number 7.
Yeah.
What other skills would you usually expect to find in a speaking lesson? What other skills would you usually expect to find in a speaking lesson?
Yes, sir.
Speaking lesson, what other skills?
Writing.
Yes, Sana?
Listening.
Writing.
Writing.
Writing, for example, in the productions.
Samira?
Listening.
Culture.
Culture. Interesting. Yeah, we can consider culture as another skill. Interesting. Good.
I think it's writing and listening and also vocabulary as a sub-skill.
Good. No,
In
but give me the
grammar.
major skill that can go with speaking. What do you
Sir?
think?
Listening.
Yes, sir.
Listening. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about writing? You write, then you answer, you speak.
Yes.
So maybe writing also goes with speaking lesson. Good. Now, number 8, explain how you could incorporate at least one other skill into a vocabulary lesson. You have a vocabulary lesson. What other skills, or at least one skill that you can integrate?
Speaking.
Sana, give me an example.
Because when you explain, for example, a certain word, so you start asking them about that, they start speaking.
Interesting. Ayub.
Sir?
Sir?
We can use speaking and writing both. We can
Okay.
we can do like role playing, or we can give, for example, the word that we have just explained, and they can put it in a sentence to check their understanding.
Yeah, interesting. For example, if you are teaching vocabulary lesson, you can opt for listening. Students listen and match the persons talking with the pictures, or writing or reading. There are many skills, but it depends on the type of the activity you are using. Number 9, how could you make giving instructions helpful to students? How could you make giving Ayub?
Instruction should be simple.
Ayub?
Yeah, it should be simple and clear.
Yeah, clear. Good. Other?
Yes, sir.
Halima?
You should
work.
You should? Sorry?
Timing and the mode of work.
Good. You should mention the time. Good. And the mode of work. What else?
Sure.
Samira?
Short.
Very good. Sure. What else?
And
Other? Sukaina?
Simple.
Sukaina?
Very clear.
Excellent. Very clear. Miriam?
I think that instructions should be simple, clear, short, and precise, and especially you should mention the timing and the mode of work.
Perfect. So you summarize everything. Okay. Good. Number 10. Why is it integrating, or why is integrating skills in a lesson important?
Sure.
First of all, it meets the different learning styles.
Because it's important because we use these skills in a daily basis, so they should be trained to use their skills in a class.
Okay, good. Kautar?
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Sir?
Okay, Sana?
Integrating skills also, it means the different learning styles of students.
Excellent. Good. Remember, we talked about learning styles, different learners. Some like reading, some like speaking, some like analyzing grammar. That's why integration is important. And number 2, in our everyday real life, we integrate all the skills. So we should integrate them in our lessons. Okay. Number 11, what are the major stages of grammar lesson? What are the major stages of grammar lesson?
Building interest.
Sure.
Miriam?
There are many, but I guess you can help. Like there's presentation, practice, production. Oh, no. In the presentation, like we have built-in interest, modal, sentence.
Now, Miriam, tell me about the major. There are many stages, but when we talk about the major, there are 3 or 4.
Yes. Yeah, the 3 PPs, like the presentation, practice, and production.
So you agree?
Yes.
Okay, Samira.
Observation. Yes, I agree, because
Good.
those are.
Yeah, now let's go in details. In the presentation, what other sub-stages you may have?
Building interest.
So number one, we can start
Modeling
with building
sentences.
interest. Good. Building interest. Number two.
Brainstorming.
Yeah, brainstorming also, yeah, good.
Okay, so we brainstorm. We
Modeling
then
sentences by giving them
Uh-huh.
okay, building, focusing questions.
Yeah, leading questions, good.
Yeah, leading questions, focusing questions.
Highlight the meaning.
highlight
What else?
the meaning by drawing the timeline.
Good. Now, if you want to highlight the structure, the form, remember there is the form and the meaning.
Using coding colors.
Good. Using colors. Good. Color coding. If you are teaching tenses, simple present, simple past, future, what are you going to use?
Timeline.
Perfect. Timelines. The past, the present, the future. Perfect. Good. What about the use, the meaning, and the form? These are the three things you have to highlight, or students should know. Now, when you highlight the form, when you highlight the structure, so you build interest, okay, number one. Number two, you model the sentence. You read the sentence. I play tennis. I am playing tennis. If I'm teaching present tense, so you model the sentence. Then you underline the form, okay? Because students should know the form, the meaning, the use. Then they move to practice. In the practice, as I told you, there are two types: controlled practice
And fair practice.
And free practice.
Okay,
Free
good.
practice.
Yes, and before practice or after practice, if you want to generate the rule with all the class, you can do it before practice. Okay.
Summarize the rule.
Yeah, you summarize the rule. Okay. So let's imagine that you. I guess we still have 3 minutes for the first. I guess the time is gonna end soon. Okay. Anyway, we are gonna go back again if the time is over. Okay. Yeah. Now, when we said teach, because Halima last time told me about how can we teach grammar. Okay. Now let's imagine that you are going to teach simple past. Okay, to students. And you are teaching beginners. You are going to start with what?
Examples.
Examples. You ask yourself a question first. Are you going to use the communicative language teaching approach, or are you going to use the direct method or the grammar translation method, etc.? But basically, we agree that language is a means of communication. So it's better with students to use communicative language teaching approach. Using communicative language teaching approach, we start with giving examples. So from the very beginning, you can start with the context. A context. The context can be a story. As a teacher, I'm gonna tell hello, my students, how are you? Yesterday, I went to the cafe. Yesterday, I went to the cafe. I met my friends there at 9 p.m. We drank juice and we ate pizza. It was a great time there. So this is a story, okay? Creating context. And here I'm going to teach irregular verbs. Irregular. Because all the verbs I talked about are irregular. The verb to eat, ate. The verb to meet, met. The verb to drink, drank. The verb to be, was. So I'm teaching irregular. Good. I'm gonna write some examples. Number one, I ate pizza. Number two, I drank juice. Number three, I met my friends. I'm gonna underline these verbs. Okay. So students are, I'm modeling the sentence, I'm modeling the structure, and students are observing the structure. Okay. Good. Then I'm gonna ask some concept questions. I met my friends today or last night. So students are going to answer today or last night. This is concept checking, okay. Or I'm gonna draw a timeline. Number 1, the past. Number 2, the present. Number 3 is the future. I'm going to circle number 1, which is the past. I was here last night. I was here. Big circle. Ate, drank, was, etc. So here I'm contrasting the past with the present and future. Okay. This is the presentation. You are presenting